या नमस्कार। आज 4 फरवरी 2024 संडे को डॉक्टर के HCFI हार्ट केयर फाउंडेशन ऑफ इंडिया के इस राउंड टेबल एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप एनवायरनमेंट में हमारे सभी एक्सपर्ट मेंबर्स का और जो व्यूअर्स डॉक्टर के अग्रवाल जी के यूट्यूब फेसबुक पेज से जुड़े हुए हैं उन सबका स्वागत है। और आज का हमारा टॉपिक है ड्राफ्ट एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल्स मैनेजमेंट रूल्स 2024 notified by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India on 30th January 2024, just 4-5 days before that. And as per topic, the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, Government of India on January 30th, 2024 issued this draft notification on end of life vehicles management rules. The reason was the lots of vehicles were after scrapping. I mean, there is some policy there, but definitely these rules were required because lot of vehicles we see in the roadside and even including main roads and its streets, allowing people are just keeping their vehicles. So these were very essential to have the kind of recycling of the vehicles. Of vehicles, that was and they use as a circular part of the circular economy, this used as a raw material. That way, as per rules, end of vehicles means a vehicle which is no longer validly registered. I mean, this is no registration is valid. That is the end of vehicles. Maybe, for example, in Delhi NCR, as per NGT order, there are some diesel vehicles more than 10 years not allowed, and the petrol vehicles more than 15 years not allowed. So these are the end of vehicles. I mean, that was And as per rules also, the vehicle which has been declared unfit for the automated testing stations, the agency certified by the Government of India, that is any automated testing stations, if it is unfit for the declared unfit, there is also end of vehicle. Or which is a vehicle which is registration has been cancelled under Chapter 4 of the Central Motor Vehicle Rules. That is also end of vehicle. Or also declared as end of vehicles due to order of court of law, just like NGT order for the diesel vehicles and petrol vehicles. And also this rules covers which is self-declared due to order of the court, which is self-declared by the legitimate owner as a waste vehicles due to accident and due to other reasons. These are all covered under the end of life vehicles that way. And these draft rules, which is just issued on 30th January, is aimed to establish regulation for extended producer responsibility or EPR concerning end of life vehicles we call ELVs that way. Indra sir, namaskar.
आज का टॉपिक इतना सुंदर है कि मैंने जैसे ही देखा ना तो बिस्तरे में से निकला, मैंने कहा भाई आज सुन लिया जाए, क्योंकि मेरे इस पे अपने व्यूज हैं। एंड तो आप बहुत ही अच्छा टॉपिक है और मैं आपसे आप प्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हैं, बहुत बहुत बधाई। मतलब एक नया एकदम अच्छा, ये जो है ना एयर पोल्यूशन और वो उसमें कुछ होना जाना नहीं है, पर होना जाना इसमें भी कुछ नहीं है, पर ये है कि कम से कम अपने कंसर्न तो रेज करें कि ये हो क्या रहा है।
बिल्कुल सर,
बहुत ही साधुवाद, आप अच्छा कर रहे हैं।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर। This draft notifications outlines the guidelines for managing the end of life vehicles in an environmentally sound manner, involving producers, consumers, collection center, and various entities within the automotive industry. That was they have the all concern. I mean, they are involving that, and this is the responsibility defined as per rules also. The responsibility of registered vehicle owner, that was the all individual, I mean, that was the all citizen, is to ensure that end of vehicles are managed in an environmentally sound manner and deposited at registered vehicle scrapping facility or the designated collection center. Normally, it is lying in the outside of your premises or in the like some near park or near street or something. But this is the as per rules. This has to be deposited at registered vehicle the scrapping facility or the designated collection center. The registered vehicle owner shall not hold vehicle for more than 6 months. That was if it after the suppose and produce a certificate after its declaration as end of vehicle, because this is this facility, the scrapping registered vehicle scrapping facility will issue certificate, and they have to deposit certificate, submit a certificate to the transport authority. That way. The responsibility of collection center is also defined, that the collection center shall collect the and store the end of vehicles and send them to further processing to the registered vehicle scrapping facility. And the collection center shall handle the end of vehicles in very environmentally sound manner for storage also. That responsibility of producers is to manage end of vehicle in environmentally sound manner, and they have to get registered at the EPR portal of the CPCB and get certificate. As per rules, producer means here in an entity who is engaged in domestic market for manufacturing, assembly, and sale of vehicle under its own brand, or sale of vehicles under the own brand but produced by the manufacturer supplier other. And also import of vehicles. And main is itself responsibility of producers to fulfill the obligation of PPR for the vehicle that they introduce the domestic market, including vehicle put to self-use to ensure the recycling target as specified Schedule 1. In Schedule 1, they have specified for up to 2000 for the 39, and they have defined every year the target 10% every year the recycling is there as per Schedule 1. So I think before going to our expert, I'll just to run through that, because I have sent the draft notifications to our expert members also. But I think morning I have said I'll request Kamakshi to just to share the draft notification. I'll just run through that, then we'll discuss the points with our expert members. Yeah, I think it's visible to everybody. We can see that. हेलो, सबको दिख रहा है सर? नोटिफिकेशन सर शेयर हो रहा है?
हाँ, दिख रहा है सब, दिख रहा है डॉक्टर साहब।
थैंक यू।
दिख रहा है, पढ़ा नहीं जा रहा है।
पढ़ने के लिए बड़ा कर सकते हैं आप, या फिर लेंस का नहीं, आप हाथ से भी कर सकते हैं उस पे स्क्रीन पे। जी जी, अपने स्क्रीन पे अपने आप हाथ से कर सकते हैं।
अभी तो मैं ख्याल से स्क्रीन से ठीक है। सो आई थिंक दैट आई जस्ट I mean, define in the notice. I will just explain that. So I'll come to the main part, the responsibility part. Kamakshi, come down. So these are the different, like how the notification is issued, what is the applications, and the definitions also. Come to responsibility. This is end of life vehicles we are talking about. Then external producer responsibility registration. Come to responsibility or come down. Yeah. So this is, yes, responsibility of producer. I just started with the particularly the responsibility part here. As per rules, it's responsibility of producer to fulfill the obligations to EPR for a vehicle that they introduce the market, including vehicle put to self-use and Schedule 1, and meet the recycling and target of end of vehicles as Schedule 1. So Schedule 1 is giving target for the every year that way. And in case the producer's marketing or manufacturing or assembly vehicle not placing in the market, then producer shall register themselves as producer of vehicle. So they have defined the everything, take necessary measures to encourage end of vehicles or deposit in the registered vehicle scrapping facility. Come down. So they have all details are giving here. I mean, I'm not going to in details fulfill the EPR through purchase of EPR certificate generated by registered vehicle scrapping facility, just like other EPR, plastic waste EPR or e-waste EPR or tire waste EPR. That was the, so they as per similar way they have to purchase a certificate if they are not I mean recycling that. I don't know how far, because I am not very satisfied with the plastic rules and all with the EPR, because even there was some issue in the Karnataka also, some kind of facility, they have just issued the fake certificate also. That was the NCPCB issued the environment compensation to these factories then. So recycling facility. So this is, I mean, how to, I mean, ensure that these are the certificates are very in proper manner. That was a very challenging thing. Like, so I mean, these are the various, like they have to file the return, annual return by 30th June, and all is come annual returns in the form 1. Next one, you come down. Their responsibility of registered owner. I was talking about to ensure the vehicle in environmental sound manner, and then they have to not hold the vehicles for more than 6 months. It's already I explained that. Responsibility of bulk consumer. This is also very important, because the various government offices and the private offices and the all kind of including hotels and malls and so many commercial centers, they have the responsibility as a like bulk consumer. It shall be responsibility of the bulk consumer to get registered on the portal, ensure that end of life vehicles are managed in a environmentally sound manner and deposited to registered vehicle facility or in collection center, and file annual return. They have to also about the vehicle fleet as well as the end of vehicles deposited. And bulk consumer shall not hold the vehicle for more than 6 months, like as per kind of a individual vehicle owner. That same. The responsibility of collection center also, I have defined that. The next come down. Responsibility of automated testing stations also they are defined. Yeah. So they have all all testing centers shall conduct vehicles testing through automated vehicle testing equipment in accordance with the provisions of Central Motor Vehicle Act rules 2021. Yeah, this I amended. So come down. This is the testing things. Then responsibility of registered vehicle scrapping facility. Very, very important. I mean that way. Registered vehicle scrapping facility shall have in the manage the vehicle app, environmental sound management facility, treatment, depollution, collection of liquid gases, because they have the lot of responsibility, because they have various equipment and they have to manage everything, every part in the very, very environmental sound manner, because no causing air pollution, water pollution, though they are managing waste, but they should not cause any kind of the air pollution, water pollution, or land pollution that way. Then all the treatment, dismantling, self-storage. So they have defined, I mean, all kind of, and they have to for online on-time registration for concerned state pollution control board. So, come down. Yeah. Then responsibility of certificate generation, EPR certificate generations through portal. Next, come down. The responsibility of CPCB is very important, because all EPR portals are maintained by CPCB, and the CPCB issuing certificate, including for the state board also, if the applications is being submitted through CPCB portal only. That was the come down. Yeah. So they have all the responsibility. The responsibility of the state government or thoda sa niche aaye. Yeah, a lot of responsibility. I mean, defined. We see more than 25 points. Now come down. Yeah. Responsibility of the then state government, state pollution control board also, they have defined. So Ministry of Road Transport Department. Then action on violation and imposition of environment compensation. Every that's a EPR rules, they have the provision that if it's not managed as per rules, they have the provision of environment compensations for not meeting the prescribed EPR targets. Come down. Come down. Then centralized online portal by CPCB, they will establish, because the rules recently draft rules. Once the rules are final, then this portal will be maintained by CPCB. Come down. Then their committee have implementing committee also for this under chairman of CPCB. Next one, Schedule 1. This is the important target for EPR. So they have the defined The EPR target comprise of recycling target of respective years. Recycling of end of life vehicles means recycling of steel from end of vehicles. EPR target for battery will be under battery management rules, and responsibility for tires will be under the hazardous and other waste management rules, and EPR for used oil will be. So these rules also cover the other kind of umbrella act and rules also if under EPR. There, come down. So these are the for private vehicles they have defined the about up to 2039-40. I was talking about it for 15 years. They have EPR target for every year. They have defined 2000, for example, next year 2025-26, like minimum 10% of steel used in the vehicle placed in the market earlier in 2005. So they have the base year started from 2005. How much they introduced in the market? So they have to 10% of that. They have to for this year 20. So they have annual EPR target plus next year. So they have defined for every year. Come down. Similarly, for up to 2039-40, then onwards, they have defined minimum 30% of the steel use. And this is for the commercial vehicles also. Similar way, they have defined for the every year for the commercial vehicles. Come down. Yeah, this is form 1. One type registration as a producer, they have introduced this form as per. Come down. This is, yeah. So they have just this form, there 2-3 forms they have come down. Yeah. And filing annual return, because they have to every June, they have to file the, come down. This is grant of registrations, and then this is form 3. Yeah. So these are the, you can, I stop sharing, I think. Yeah. So these are the rules. I mean, the draft rules, we have to, I mean, any suggestions and things like we have to give. But very important that with the like particularly the registered vehicle escaping facility, they must be, I mean, the very CPCB, SPCB very vigilant on that, because the earlier found in the plastic waste rules, other waste rules, the fake kind of targets or certificates were issued by these particularly the or the SPCB may not have conducted very kind of inspections and properly and things like, and they have found the CPCB issued the penalty provision and environment compensation. So with that background, I'll request first also to R.N. Jindal sir to speak about that today's particularly draft rules, and he was both in ministry and CPCB. He was in the CPCB for a long time, and also in ministry, very senior positions. So I'll request the R.N. Jindal sir.
Good morning, Dr. Saab. Thank you very much taking up this because I was not prepared. I just saw half an hour earlier your notification, and then I said, let me join. So, but see, there's a group we have formed, WhatsApp group almost 2 years back on this recycling, and that group is protesting that there should not be, end of vehicle of 15 years. So that group, there are diverse opinions on that. But frankly, it's a draft rule. So draft rule में अभी final होना है, और final होने में काफी सारे plus and minus हैं. But let me tell you something, very serious. I have a right to have property. There is no fundamental right or absolute right. ऐसा क्यों? Why I should surrender my vehicle within 6 months or 15 years of age? One. Second is, there has to be difference between private vehicle and public vehicle. जो टैक्सी के रूप में चलता है, जो ट्रक है, तो उसकी लाइफ और जो प्राइवेट व्हीकल है उसकी लाइफ में हमारी गाड़ी 15 साल से मुश्किल से 70,000 80,000 करती है अगर हम ऑफिस जाते हैं. तो अगर हम बिजनेस करते हैं देन सर्टेनली इट मूव्स मोर बियॉन्ड 1 लाख किलोमीटर. सो देयर हैज टू बी किलोमीटर्स. एंड आई वाज इन रोम, एंड मैंने वहां देखा कि जो हमारा कब है, एक छोटा स्कूटर बनाया था बजाज ने जो चला नहीं 1992-93 के आसपास में, और वो फिर बंद कर दिया उसने. He was pushing that cub जो FAI जो फूड एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया उसका फूड FAO है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फूड्स की, उसके सामने करा था। आई सेड कि वुड यू अलाउ मी टू टेक अ वीडियो? ही सेड नो। सो वो पुश कर सकता है 4 साल पहले, तो व्हाई सच ए व्हीकल कैन नॉट बी अलाउड इन इंडिया जो ओरिजिनल है। और इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि वी आर गिविंग ए फ्री हैंड टू दी व्हीकल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स। ओनली 10 days बैक आई वेंट फॉर सर्विसिंग ऑफ माई कार। सो उसमें जो नोब है, जो गियर बदलने वाली नोब है, वो उसकी वो टूट गई, फुरबरा गई। इट इज मेड ऑफ रबर। कि उन्होंने गाड़ी वालों ने सोच लिया है कि अब तो ये जो गाड़ियां 15 साल में होंगी तो वो उससे भी घटिया मटेरियल लगा रहे हैं। देन ही सेड कि भाई आपके जो है ना वाइब्रेशन कर रही है गाड़ी, वी हैव टू इसको एलिमिनेट करना, और इसको इंजन खोल करके इसमें गुटके बदले जाएंगे। सो दिस इज समथिंग so quality of vehicle is quality of components is going down because the vehicle manufacturer, and this is the leading manufacturer, I have written a complaint to the manufacturer कि ये हो क्या रहा है। So quality is degrading. Then another part is that target is fixed of steel 10%. 10% has to be recycled. Fortunately, metals, steel, lead, copper, etc. They can be 100% recycled. So this target is fictitious. Of late, Tata has entered into recycling of steel. Then I know there's a one steel one manufacturer one industry which is into secondary steel processing, Vardhaman Steels in Ludhiana. They have a MOU, or they are actively come to the manufacturing of steel, of a car grade steel, uh, and they had a MOU with Toyota. So it's a 100%. So this target of 10%, yes, in a one way that some car manufacturer, automobile manufacturer, they are importing steel. So they will now look into the local manufacturers. So it could be that way. Otherwise, it's a fictitious target because steel is otherwise recycled, and even all the metals are being recycled. Then further is this is opening a lot of Pandora box. EPR, extended producer responsibility, everything is given to the state pollution control board, central pollution control board responsibility. Do the central pollution control board, the state pollution control board, the capability, starting from Arunachal Pradesh to Kutch ka Ran and Kanyakumari to Leh Ladakh, that they can look into. Thousands of certificates will be issued. Now, whether those certificates are proper or not, I am aware of cases in, I was पंजाब में था, तो वहां पर जो डंपर हैं, जो 15 साल के हो जाते हैं, उसको नागालैंड से रजिस्टर करवा करके ले आते हैं, एंड डंपर डजंट ट्रेवल टू नागालैंड, सो वहां से रजिस्ट्रेशन होकर के आ जाता है। सो दिस इज हैपनिंग, उसकी एक्सटेंड लाइफ कर देते हैं, 2 साल 17 साल हो जाती है। सो समथिंग फोरेंसिक, इट इज ऑन दी दैट साइड दैट उसमें कितनी वो होगी, उनके पास फोरेंसिक ऑडिट का फॉलो करने का, केसेस को कितना कैपेबिलिटी है सीपीसीबी में या एसपीसीबी में। इट्स नॉट ए क्रिटिसिज्म, इट्स स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। दैट इज आल्सो ए इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट, बिकॉज जैसे जीएसटी में है, जीएसटी में हम रोज सुनते हैं कि उन्होंने इतनी कंपनी पकड़ी, इनकम टैक्स में इतने फ्रॉडुलेंट पकड़े, ईडी एवरीडे दे आर अनअर्थिंग दी parking of money in foreign country, or money laundering cases. So there has to something should be on smoothly and slowly. So this EPR concept is a good concept, provided we have wherewithal to implement this concept. And then end of vehicle, especially the private vehicles, which individual is taking in everywhere, the manufacturer are the same world over. It's Japanese or German or American cars. So when they can run in Europe and in America for 30 years, 25 years, why they cannot run in India? So they should be a rethink on this policy, maybe by the government. There is a humble request. Thank you.
Thank you, General Sir. Very important point, because the everybody is a concerned, individual concern. If you buy a car or diesel car in like NCR or something like, and maybe after the paying the loan for 7-8 years, and within 10 years his car is going to be for as a end of life, or they cannot run into them. So this is very, very important for the, I mean, particularly putting a lot of money. So this should be a bit rethink that this should be a vehicle is well maintained, and based on the performance of the vehicle should be this kind of a target should be given for the scrapping for the vehicle or end of life vehicles. Another thing that also was very concerned with the, like, 10% is still recycling target of the target of 2005 and 6. I mean, that's where how, I mean, that was the. So about 20 years back, target up to 10% still. I mean, this is, it should be, ministry should rethink over this because if going for the PR, more for circular economy, more for recycling, then should be recycling target should be more for at least for the, started with the, if we target of that year 2005-6 base year should be more. I mean, that was. So I'll just definitely will discuss with the expert. Now I'll request Professor Shivaji Sarkar, who joined today. So I'll request him to, I mean, speak about this today's topic. To over to Professor Shivaji Sarkar.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been a very vast critic of this entire car lobby oriented pollution checking and all those things that is being done. National Green Tribunal, the government, the respective departments and all others, as per the citizen, they are on the rolls of the car makers, and they have created a system where the citizen must suffer so that the car lobby thrive. I'm a very, very worst critic of it, and I'm sorry for using very harsh words, but I think best way, I believe, is, you see, the more the agencies we have, more is rent seeking. And CPCB, now what they have brought the rules, they're trying to make rent seeking a nationalized asset for their own benefit. We must take it. They're very, I know in government, nobody likes to listen to all those kind of things. We have to talk very goody-goody. No, I'm not talking goody-goody at all. I'm just giving the feeling of the entire population. We must not have this. Now, world over, the norm is whatever the mode, nobody has banned diesel anywhere in the world except this poor country which thrives on diesel, because diesel is, though government has put it a very high price, diesel is one of the cheapest product that the petroleum refineries can have. And they're thriving on it. And we as a nation, by giving up diesel, we have created a system that we become poorer. Number one, CPCB must allow and government must take everybody on board on diesel, that we are almost, if you take actually, almost 50% vehicles are still, the entire transportation is on still diesel. And why can't a car be run on diesel? And I found it did now, the latest diesel cars, they are far more efficient than the petrol cars also. So why are we trying to give up a resource that we are ourselves making, refining, and dumping? Not dumping, we're not dumping. We're helping the private refineries to make higher profit by selling it to Europe and US. So we are, as a nation, we are becoming a dishonest nation. Number one, my submission is that diesel must be allowed to thrive because diesel is an efficient fuel. Latest technology has made it also ensured that the pollution level of the diesel, the emissions are the least. So they are not pollutant, or they're as pollutant as the petrol car now. And they can serve longer also. The number one, first of all, the CPCB must ensure that every vehicle, especially a private vehicle, is allowed to run for 40 years and a commercial vehicles at least for 20 years. I have seen this new rule has ruined the transport business, especially the passenger transport business in West Bengal, in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, and many other places. The entire transportation business, those who are into it, many of them have become paupers because they can't afford very expensive new vehicles so easily. And the new vehicles are not very more efficient than the previous one they are holding. So number one, diesel use must be legalized as long as the vehicle is efficient. And that limit must be 40 years as it is all over the world. In fact, in UK, they have a rule that after 40 years, they even don't charge the annual road fee also. Number one. Number two, what do you actually want to have with this kind of silly rules? Our automobile industry was sick. So we thought we should take money from them, we should profit. We can have funds for various other purposes also. I'm not going to, you can understand what for it is I'm taking. And those people and automobile industry will thrive. And the people of the nation, the farmers, the tractors, for 7 years, they pay their EMIs. Any car owner is almost like that. And on the 3 years later, you come and say, I'm picking it up. On what ground? And all the provisions that we have narrated, very good, it has helped us know a lot of things. But they're all silly rules. Why should those be like that? Why should there have a plastic rule? Why should there be a tire rule? Why should there be an engine rule and all those kind of things? So that the number of rent-seeking points can increase. The rent-seeking itself from one car, now perhaps for one pollution certificate you have to pay. No, at RTO office, everybody knows, even for a driving license that costs 600 rupees, unless and until you pay 3,000 or 5,000 rupees, you won't get your driving license. Whether you were an efficient driver or not, that is not the issue at all. So for taking of the rent seeking, this set of rules must be scrapped. I'm going to be very harsh. This must be scrapped, and this should be redrafted, and those redrafted rules, not through your electronic system. They should print leaflets, pamphlets, and distribute all over the country, and take 2 years and take the reactions of the people and then make a rule if it is required. I believe no rule is required. There is a right to property. Mr. Jindal has given most of the points very nicely. What about the right to property? Car is my property, it is not your property. Who are you? You may be a government. We elect the government. Government is our servant. I am not a servant of the government. We forget that. We make the government. Government doesn't make us. Whichever it is. Tell us, I don't mind. So government can't seize my car. My servant can't seize my car. That provision itself must be scrapped. There can't be any seizure of any vehicle of mine, any property of mine, unless and until I agree to it. That's the difference. That is selling purpose. You can't impose rules that benefit certain number of businessmen. Steel has to be imported. Why you force us to junk my efficient car or anybody's efficient vehicle? Because you have to make steel and you will earn cuts on that. So there are many other issues, but my basic submission is, because it can go very long, I made also some comments on this also. For rent-seeking purposes, as the purpose it seems, the entire rules that have been made, this entire set of rules should immediately be scrapped. Whosoever the officials have done, they have done it under pressure from various lobbies. They're serving the lobbies. And if it is not done, I can tell you the political implication of it. Entire population of India will come down, not only to Delhi, they will go down to all the RT offices and they will burn it down. Literally, I'm saying. The people are extremely angry. If the so-called government and the government servants who are our servants, they are going to do it, people can go to any extent to deal with them. So to prevent that situation of violence, prevent that situation of extreme poverty, prevent that extreme rebellious situation, number one, this entire set of rules first be scrapped and government should announce it. And number one, first they should announce that any vehicle, private vehicle, should be allowed to run for 40 years. Number two, commercial vehicles for 20 years. Number three, any kind of fuel, diesel or others, must be allowed to be used till the vehicles are there. Number three, there is another issue. All these things are also being done to promote the electric vehicle lobby. And that is another danger, because world over, they have found the electric vehicle technology hasn't improved much during the last 10 years. The batteries and all others are more pollutants, or new manufacturing is more pollutant than running an old car. Nobody has taken that into consideration. And if for promoting EVs, nobody's vehicle should be touched. Number two, why an EV should be tested at the cost of the consumer? Nobody has also asked that question. I can have many more questions and many more things to say, but thank you for giving this opportunity. I'm thankful to you also for bringing us to various issues that you have told us. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Professor Shivaji Sarkar, for very your open views, and that was you want to highlighted things like. So now I'll request Shyam Gupta ji, because this is important as per the both air pollution point of view and the point of waste management. And I'll request
Dr. Anil, I have a small, Dr. Anil, I take a small half a minute. You see, I don't think that a car that emits one person, whose emission is 1%, an average car, my car has gone quite a few years. Most of the cars are within the limit of 1% or so, around 1%. These actually really pollute. Any industry that makes sugar that pollutes much more. But since the cut is there more, so my vehicle is targeted, the industry is not. Sorry for.
So I'll request Shyam Gupta ji.
थैंक यू अनिल. मेरे को 2-3 बातें इसमें पॉलिसी को सुन के समझ में आई है. 2-3 बातें आई हैं समझ में. एक तो ये कि हम कभी कोई पॉलिसी बनाते हैं या किसी पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं तो उसके पीछे एक ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है कि हम क्यों बना रहे हैं पॉलिसी. हमने पॉलिसी क्यों लाए हैं? क्या इसलिए लाए हैं कि हमें पोल्यूशन कम करना है, या इसलिए लाए हैं कि हमें मोटर व्हीकल की मैन्युफैक्चर को बढ़ावा देना है, या हम इसलिए लाए हैं कि लोगों को ज्यादा कन्वीनियंस देनी है? व्हाट इज आवर ऑब्जेक्टिव? तो ये बहुत क्लियरली स्पेल्ड आउट नहीं है कि हम ये पॉलिसी किस लिए लाए. और जहाँ तक मैं समझता हूँ कि शायद इसलिए लाए हैं कि भाई पोल्यूशन कम हो जाए, एयर क्वालिटी इंप्रूव हो जाए. तो क्या कोई ऐसा मेथड है या कोई ऐसा तरीका है जिससे ये असेस किया जा सके कि इस पॉलिसी के इम्प्लीमेंट होने से हमारी एयर क्वालिटी 5% इम्प्रूव हो जाएगी, या 10% इम्प्रूव हो जाएगी, या 20% इम्प्रूव हो जाएगी? कोई हमारे पास ऐसी मेथडोलॉजी है क्या? तो अगर हम ये कोई पॉलिसी लाते हैं तो हमें उसकी एफिकेसी की तरफ थोड़ा सोचना चाहिए कि भाई हम क्यों ला रहे हैं और उसका क्या टारगेट है, कि क्या 2 साल में, 5 साल में हमारी एयर क्वालिटी विल इम्प्रूव बाई 20%, 5%. तो एक तो मुझे लगता है कि एक बहुत बड़ा ये लकूना है इसके अंदर कि ऐसे कोई टारगेट तो है नहीं, और फिर हम ये इतना बड़ा डिसीजन ले रहे हैं, देश के अंदर लाखों लोगों को सबने जैसे कहा भाई इनकन्वीनियंस में डाल रहे हैं. तो इनकन्वीनियंस बर्दाश्त करने के लिए तैयार हैं, लेकिन एक टारगेट तो फिक्स होना चाहिए कि भाई क्यों कर रहे हैं. दूसरा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इस पॉलिसी में बड़ी इंटेलिजेंटली जो मोटर व्हीकल मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट है, बिकॉज राय में दे आर पोल्यूटर्स, तो उन्होंने अपनी सारी जिम्मेवारी सीपीसीबी के ऊपर थोप दी. अब सीपीसीबी हैज बिकम ए पोल्यूटर नाउ. तो ये जो मोटर व्हीकल के ये जो एक्ट बना है, इसकी सारी जिम्मेवारी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट के ऊपर होनी चाहिए, ना कि सीपीसीबी के ऊपर होनी चाहिए. सीपीसीबी तो एक रेगुलेटरी बॉडी है जो इसको ओवरसी करेगी, वे तुमने ये करा, तुम पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे हो, टायर के पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे हो, डीजल का एमिशन कंट्रोल कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे हो। सीपीसीबी का कहाँ जिम्मेवारी थोड़ी है कि ये कम हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, ये रूल इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है। ये सारी जिम्मेवारी मुझे लगता है कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट की होनी चाहिए, एंड मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट शुड बी ट्रीटेड लाइक ए पोल्यूटर, और सीपीसीबी का उसके ऊपर रेस्ट्रिक्शंस होने चाहिए, रेगुलेशंस होने चाहिए। और तीसरी बात जो सरकार साहब ने भी कही और जिंदल साहब ने तो शुरू में कही कि ये जो स्क्रैपिंग पॉलिसी है, इसमें से प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स को निकाल देना चाहिए, क्योंकि पर्सनल व्हीकल्स तो बहुत कम चलती हैं, और मतलब 20 साल में मुश्किल से 50,000 किलोमीटर भी नहीं चलती गाड़ियां, और उनसे पोल्यूशन इतना ज्यादा होता नहीं। जो ज्यादा पोल्यूशन या जो ज्यादा चलती है सड़क पे वो कमर्शियल व्हीकल चलती हैं। बल्कि कैटेगरी वाइज एक पॉलिसी बनानी चाहिए कि जो डंपर्स हैं, ट्रक्स हैं, टेम्पोज हैं, ऑटोज हैं, टैक्सीज हैं, इनके लिए अलग अलग पॉलिसी डिफाइन होनी चाहिए, और प्राइवेट व्हीकल शुड बी टेकन आउट कंप्लीटली आउट ऑफ दिस परव्यू। अदरवाइज हमें तो ये दुख होगा देख के कि पहले हेरिटेज कार्स हुआ करती थी, अब 15 साल के बाद अगर गाड़ी स्क्रैप भी करनी है तो कोई हेरिटेज कार होगी ही नहीं हिंदुस्तान के अंदर। हम सब लोग मॉडर्न गाड़ियां देखते रहेंगे, वो पुरानी गाड़ियों को जो देख के एक अभिमान और एक स्वाभिमान सा होता था, अरे देखो ये हमारी 50 साल पुरानी गाड़ी है, ये 30 साल पुरानी गाड़ी, वो प्राइड ही खत्म हो जाएगा। तो जो क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ एक होती है, एक अपने अंदर एक अच्छा स्वाभिमान सा जगता है, वो स्वाभिमान ही खत्म हो जाएगा। तो मुझे लगता है इन तीन चीजों की तरफ अगर हम सरकार को इशारा करके बताएं कि भाई उनको कमेंट देने की उस पर तारीख दे रखी है कि सबको अपने अपने कमेंट देने हैं, तो मैं समझता हूँ HFCI को ना ये कमेंट्स अगर ठीक लगे तो उनको पहुंचाएं, तो देखें क्या होता है फिर। बस इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ भाई।
थैंक यू कई, थैंक यू सो मच। नाउ रिक्वेस्ट नीरज त्यागी जी, who is always reading a lot and giving his views in every topic. So I'll request Neeraj Tyagi ji.
जी नमस्कार, थैंक यू वेरी मच। मेरी आवाज क्लियर आ रही है क्या?
यस यस श्योर श्योर।
तो जैसा कि अभी डिस्कशन हुआ, बड़ा मतलब
सरकार साहब ने चेहरा ठीक नहीं नजर आ रहा, चेहरे पे आपने ऐसा चश्मा लगाया वो नहीं दिख रहा, बाकी आवाज तो बहुत बढ़िया आ रही है।
अच्छा अच्छा,
थोड़ा सा देखो रिफ्लेक्शन ठीक से आ जाए, सर्दी तो है लेकिन
कलरफुल आ रहा है,
चेहरा दिखे।
कलरफुल चश्मा आ रहा है।
जी जी जी,
वो जैसे वो अपने
थोड़ा सा कोहरे की वजह से गड़बड़ हो रहा है।
नहीं, डॉन
तो
आते थे ना अपनी फिल्मों में 1970 से 80 के बीच में, वैसा कुछ आ रहा है चेहरा।
डॉन तो ये सरकार साहब ने जैसा कहा है, बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंट है। मैं तो ये महात्मा गांधी का देश है जहाँ पे कि हम टूटी हुई पेंसिल को भी यूज करने की एक आइडिया हुआ करता था, और यहाँ पर एक स्क्रैप पॉलिसी आ रही है जिसमें कि मुझे भी लग रहा है कि मुनाफाखोरों को इसमें प्रोत्साहित किया जा रहा है। और चल ही रहा है, ये हमारी प्रजातंत्र है, तो इसमें बगैर मुनाफाखोरी के प्रजातंत्र चलते भी नहीं है, तो ये तो मजबूरी है। लेकिन जो भी एक चीज इसमें जो कुछ लेकुना है कि जो लेजिस्लेटिव, एक तो ELV रिसाइकलिंग सिस्टम जो है वो होना चाहिए। वो दीज आर एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन द यूरोपियन यूनियन, जापान, कोरिया एंड चाइना, while in the US ELV recycling is managed under existing laws on environment protection. Since automobile shedding residue, ASR जो है, this is very important. ASR has a high calorific value and ash content and includes heavy metals as well as a mass of unclassified fine particles. Recycling ASR is considered highly difficult. Since ELVs consist of more than 70% iron, these have been traditionally traded as a valuable secondary resource, and the recycling has been conducted autonomously based on market mechanisms. However, fluctuations in the price of steel scraps and the rise in the treatment cost of automobile shredding residues, ASR, have at times pulled down ELV prices. Thus, management of ELV recycling under a legislative framework is becoming increasingly important. And currently, countries and regions with legislation on ELV recycling are still limited For example, European Union, the EFTA, Japan, Korea, China, and Taiwan. End of life vehicle means जो इसमें ड्राफ्ट बोर्ड में दिया है, which is no longer validly registered, या which has been declared unfit by automated testing station, जो हमारा मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट है, और of which registration has been cancelled, वो भी इसमें आते हैं end of life vehicle में, and declared as end of life due to an order of court of law, which is self-declared by the legitimate registered owner as a waste vehicle. तो इसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज तो सोशल अवेयरनेस की भी है. Social awareness is a crucial factor in ELV recycling. The lack of awareness is evident among locals of India. Indians are unconcerned about environmental degradation. In addition, the Indian government is reluctant to promote public awareness and education. Vehicle deregistration and ELV collection have appeared as one of the significant challenging issues in ELV recycling, with a rating of 4.2 out of 5 scales. The collection of ELVs and deregistration process are the initial steps of ELV recycling. Indian authorities have yet to design and implement the vehicle deregistration process and ELVs collection process. Environmental degradation and pollution have been identified as critical issues in ELV recycling in India, with a rating of 3.9 out of 5 scales. The ELV recycling sector disposes of hazardous waste not in environmentally sound way, which degenerates environmental quality. Limited technology has been regarded as a severe weakness of ELV recycling, with a rating of 3.5 out of 5 scales. And poor technology is a persistent issue in India's ELV recycling system. Most ELV dismantlers have rudimentary tools for ELV dismantling operations, which significantly affect the materials recovery, recycling, and extraction rate. और जो informal sector है, that informal sectors dominate India's ELV recycling sector. They do not follow any guidelines for ELV dismantling operation, which poses significant environmental threats. In addition, improper handling of resources is prevalent in informal sectors, as they recover only certain economically important parts from ELVs. The lax regulation and policy have surfaced as a grave threat to ELV recycling. The environmental impact of ELV recycling has been identified as a prominent threat to ELV recycling, with a rating of 3.1 out of 5 scales. ELVs contain several hazardous solid, liquid, and gaseous substances. Proper handling of these substances is paramount. In India's ELV recycling system, stakeholders generally throw these detrimental substances into landfills, which degrades the environmental quality significantly. और सबसे important और last जो मैं कहना चाहूंगा, that is the amount paid to the end user of the vehicle for the ELV is insufficient, because the monetary value of ELVs in India depends on the market price of iron only. The insufficient monetary value of ELV discourages the end user of the vehicle from recycling vehicle. The authority should devise an appropriate legal framework to govern the ELV recycling system. This investigation, it also finds out that ELV recycling is still one of the India's more profitable businesses. However, the ELV recycling sector is not growing rapidly. This research reveals that the investment for enhancing materials, recovery and recycling and energy efficient operation is limited, which leads to poor materials recovery rates and high energy consumption. It indicates that financial constraint is impending the development of ELV recycling sector. Lack of assistance and incentives from authorities has surfaced as a prominent issue in the ELV recycling sector. The authorities should take the initiative for financial assistance for ELV stakeholders to grow the ELV recycling sector sustainably. And Last is hazardous and harmful waste from ELV recycling sector are required to be disposed of in environmentally friendly way. The Indian authority should establish a safe center for hazardous waste handling to reduce the substantial environment threat. The energy used in ELV recycling sector and its supportive and dependent industries comes from finite non-renewable energy sources, which have several inevitable implications for the environmental and public health, including greenhouse gas emissions and air and land pollution. Renewable energy can play a crucial role as it offers a low emission, clean and infinite energy source. The application of renewable energy can reduce carbon emission from the ELV recycling sector significantly and facilitate the achievement of sustainability. That's all what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj. You have put very details about the recycling and other related things. So we have just about 6 minutes to go. I mean, for yes, because we have to, by 1 o'clock, we have to time here. So I'll request GP Kumabaji if you want to say anything like that. Somebody is.
जी कुमावत साहब उनका म्यूट है.
Okay, so I'll.
हाँ sir.
जी आ गए.
Yeah. You want to say anything about that today's topic? I mean, that was your as further to. I mean, what continuation of the what we are discussing that?
Yes, sir. We have discussed the sir because the government is planning, and as I was hearing that the enforcement mechanism has been given to CPC.
Yeah.
That they will enforce all this thing, but in this way actually there is a link missing in all department and all system. Government has to think very seriously because the inspectorate mechanism is also not working. If the things are given to CPCB or State Pollution Control Board, they are also already overloaded. Such infrastructure and things are not there with them, and it is because state-wise also this there is a difference of use of the vehicle. This is also a problematic thing presently, because in some state, as I was hearing, that people are getting transferred the vehicle at Nagaland and then they are using in the Punjab or anywhere else.
Yes.
So this thing should be uniformly monitored and uniformly implemented in the country wide. Some places even the vehicle identification is also difficult. In my case also, you see my vehicle is a diesel vehicle. Okay? It has completed 10 years and I got it transferred in Rajasthan.
Yes.
But at the same time, no doubt, in the present situation, it is difficult to operate that vehicle in Delhi. But again, I have purchased in 12 lakh the vehicle or 10 lakh vehicle. A service class person, he is incurring this much of money, paying EMI or whatever is there, and then when he starts to get free the vehicle and then start driving, by the time the time of the vehicle is expires. So it is to be seen effectively, and the refitting or checking and this thing can also be seen, or some retrofitting pollution control devices can be put in, because we have seen in the thermal power stations also FDGs are installed. So device can be installed. It is of no use that we are just 10 lakh vehicle may have the 50% cost as on date, and now it has to be sold into just in the thousands of the rupees only. And it is indirectly, it is a just you can say a burden on the people, those who are owning one vehicle, and those who can afford 2-3 vehicle, they have no problem, they will avail another vehicle also. But in general in India, if you consider that people are like us, so it's difficult and it should be seen effectively. And I will request that the foundation should write this policy should be reviewed in the interest of the general public or the middle class people. There are many measures and ways to control the pollution. Not only the vehicle is the polluting mechanism, because as we are seeing that in these days, just they are banning the vehicles in Delhi, whereas other polluting mechanisms are there, system are there, they are polluting the Delhi, but just putting the ban on the vehicles is not effectively serving the purpose. And so this is to be seen as a whole and an effective or integrated system should be developed for this. I am looking, and at many of the times I am finding that the government is making, and CPCB people or people like you people, those some of the very renowned people are there on this foundation and in this present lecture also. They should be effectively discussed and considered before putting up of such laws in the country.
Thank you, Kumar ji. Very important. You said, I mean, shifting problem from one area to, like, if you ban some vehicles in the NCR or Delhi NCR and send the vehicle to the other, like, same kind of human beings are living there also. I mean, that's like shifting the responsibility. I mean, that's, I mean, you are just, you're not saving the people of Delhi NCR, but you're more, I mean, to put their life there in danger into the other area that was here. Because we are same
yes, in
same
this
set
same
of
way,
human beings are there actually. Yeah.
Yes. So, sir, it can be taken care of, please.
Thank you. So I'll request Pradeep Khandelwal ji. I could not invite him before, so I'll request, because this is very important for because he worked in the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, and a lot of vehicles in the roadside and parking area and other park side, and so his view is very important also. I mean, both by MCD point of view or the pollution point of view. Pradeep Khandelwal ji.
सबको नमस्कार. एंड ऑफ लाइफ ऑफ द व्हीकल अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा मिसनोमर है कि किस पर्पस के लिए हम एंड ऑफ लाइफ करना चाहते हैं. इफ वी आर टेकिंग इट फॉर द एयर पोल्यूशन, then it doesn't relate to end of life. If we are taking it for other purposes, recycling and other things, even then it is not connected. तो एक्चुअली क्या है, एक तो बेसिक पर्पस एंड ऑफ लाइफ ऑफ व्हीकल का डिफाइन होना चाहिए. कब होगी, क्यों होगी, वो तो सेकेंडरी थिंग है, बट पर्पस क्या है मेरा इसका. मैं एक तरफ तो प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाता जा रहा हूं और दूसरी तरफ कहता हूं मैं उसको एंड ऑफ लाइफ भी करता जाऊं. तो माय पर्पस इज टू प्रमोट इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन और टू प्रमोट द मोटर कंपनीज, और माय पर्पस इज टू रिड्यूस द पोल्यूशन. तो जब तक इन दोनों चीज में सिंक्रोनाइजेशन नहीं होगा तो देयर इज नो यूज. जहां तक एंड ऑफ लाइफ करनी चाहिए तो इट शुड बी ऑन सम प्रिंसिपल्स. जैसे अभी डॉक्टर शिवाजी सरकार ने कहा कि मेरी गाड़ी मैं एज ए हॉबी लेता हूं. अब विंटेज कार का क्या होगा, कि विंटेज कार खत्म हो जाएंगी आगे इंडिया से. एंड ऑफ लाइफ में तो विंटेज कार को सबसे पहले हमें खत्म करना पड़ेगा. सो मेरी एक जो धरोहर थी उसको ही मैं खत्म कर दूं. तो इसको थोड़ा बहुत डीपली स्टडी करना पड़ेगा. अब मैं अगर शौक पे अपनी एक चीज गाड़ी रखना चाहता हूँ, मैं चलाता भी नहीं हूँ, से 1 किलोमीटर 2 किलोमीटर पर डे चल रही है मेरी गाड़ी. लोगों को अपने शौक भी आप खत्म कराना चाह रहे हो एंड ऑफ लाइफ करके. तो इसको मेरे हिसाब से तो आई डू नॉट एग्री विद दिस पॉलिसी. बाकी अब सरकार है, वो तो कुछ भी कर सकती है.
बट एक यहाँ पे भी हमारे सरकार है, एक उधर भी सरकार, इधर भी सरकार जी है.
ये सरकार साहब बड़े बड़े पत्रकारों को पढ़ाए हुए हैं.
हमारी आपसे सिर्फ विनती है
जी,
ये जो ऑर्गेनाइज गुंडागर्दी चल रही है इसको खत्म करवाइए.
तो खत्म होना चाहिए.
ये ऑर्गेनाइज गुंडागर्दी है.
very limited time, so I'll request just 2 minutes to Ruchika madam.
अनिल जी, ये जो ग्रैप है ये सब बदमाशी है. I'm using a very bad word, but that is the correct word.
So I'll request you, because we have time already 1 o'clock. So Ruchika madam, if you want to say anything, that you just, I think.
Actually, this good afternoon. This topic is new to me, but I'll only like to just say one thing. जो अभी सबने बोला, जो non-mobile sources of air pollution है, जो आपके local sources जो होते हैं, उसके ऊपर even if they start focusing on that and they curb the धूल and धुआं from those sources, you know, which is where we are seeing that there is literally zero enforcement or even the supportive infrastructure भी नहीं है, उसको पहले हम लोग address करें before we again create another generation of, you know, the vehicles where we are finding like the entire recycling is with the informal sector. So how are they really going to be looking at the end life and the optimum recycling when even the basic standard stuff is not being addressed? And we are not getting that sustainable infrastructure. Municipalities generate कर रही हैं revenue, लेकिन खर्च नहीं हो रहा है to support, to create that support system for sustainable recycling and addressing the source of the pollution. That's all I like to say.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think this is a very important topic. I'll see that if we have somebody, I mean, some important point, if you can send to the WhatsApp this group or to HCFI group. So we'll take up that point, and if required, the next meeting also we can further
we should continue in the next meeting.
I think that with the points, because this is very, very important for not only the recycling purpose, the air pollution purpose. We have to, I mean, see how the synchronized has to be there. So thank you all the speakers today. We have very good discussion. I hope so that after our continued discussion, we'll have some kind of final suggestion for that. Thank you all the speakers. Thank you everybody. Thank you.